With me tonight is Heather Scutti from Stamford Animal Rescue. And before we get started, I'm just going to make a couple of announcements. Long-awaited arrival, and I get all teary-eyed. Isn't that so silly?
Yeah.
Sarah and Mark are welcoming Parker Joan to the world. She was born on Thursday at 9:44, weighing 7 pounds, 14 ounces. So welcome, and we will have her on the show because we're going to talk about pit bulls and babies.
Nice.
And how you don't get rid of either. So
it's a great
Sarah,
topic.
yeah. Oh, I can't wait. She's going to be her little
That's
TV
great.
debut. Auntie Theo's going to be all set.
Okay.
She'll be calm by then. And we'll have Parker. And I'm not even going to get into what my suspicions are with the name, but we'll let Mark explain that sometime to us. Congratulations, Sarah, Mark, and Parker. We've got a few birthdays I'd like to go over real quick. A lady who I had the pleasure of growing up with. We had plenty of adventures. Some of them were animal related.
Okay.
My dear friend Mary, who with her sister Ness, we had a lot of adventures, but she's got a big birthday today.
What's big?
The same one I'll be having next year.
And what is that?
I'm not going there. We'll leave that.
Okay.
We'll leave that out of here. But anyway, happy birthday, Mary. And we've got Jody Doherty from Running for Rescues, who's been on the show. I don't know if you're familiar with Running for Rescues.
I've seen them. I know a little bit about them.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool idea. You know, get
Yeah,
out there, run, get
absolutely.
healthy, and help the dogs. Another young lady who I only know on Facebook, but she's into rescue, and her name is Sarah Suzanne. Her birthday is today. And in case anybody thought I forgot, my very own friend and crew member, Nancy, is celebrating her birthday today. She's back there in the booth, and she is not jumping up and down. Yep, there she is. Happy birthday, Nancy. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, Heather, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a crazy ride trying to get here.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I've lost people before, but you know, it is
Hey.
what it is. You got here, right?
Yeah.
That's all that
well,
matters.
We left early and to make sure we had enough time in case we did get lost. So,
Yeah, well, hey, you made it.
so that's it.
You know,
That's the important part.
honestly and truly had a woman just a couple of months ago. It was really pretty funny. She got here after we started.
Okay.
So I had, you know, the couch set up, the mic just sitting there, and I just started without her.
Said without her.
You know, I mean, it is what it is. You have to do what you have to do, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
we met last year
We did.
at Adopt a Dog in
That's
Greenwich.
correct.
They're
Yep.
putting on the dog.
Yeah.
That was one of those chance encounters where we just kind of happened to be in the same space at the same time.
Yeah.
And that was my first outing with Mojo.
Right.
And he was, you know, I didn't know what to expect from him. My, you know, first full pit and
Right.
a big, crazy environment. And,
Beautiful.
you know, he was, thank you, just like seriously not even a week out of the pound.
Wow.
But he was a
Right.
champ and
Right.
subsequently got to meet you. So,
Yeah.
you know, dogs are a beautiful way to meet people, especially at a
Absolutely.
dog event, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we've
Great
kind of
event.
been in touch,
for
which
the whole
is
year, really. This
yeah,
is
it's like almost a whole
almost
year.
a whole year since
Yeah.
we've actually physically seen each
Yeah,
other. Everything's
exactly.
been via Facebook.
Right.
So that's good. We
and-
kept in contact.
Yeah, and you know, I
I
always
like
say
that.
like Facebook is like so totally like if
Yeah.
you're not on Facebook,
Right.
come on, get with it.
You have to get with that.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
rescue groups and, you know, trying to get your dogs and cats and every critter out there adopted.
Yeah, I mean it's such a powerful
Yeah,
tool. I say
absolutely.
it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But that's how we met. And you had your hands in a few things at the time. I
Yeah.
wasn't doing the show at the time. I only
Right,
had my column.
right.
So we've both kind of grown along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Stamford Animal Rescue, Star. What's tell us about that.
Okay. Star Rescue was incorporated in February. We started and we started developing a few programs. We kind of did some research on the needs of what was going on in the community. And one of our programs is we have a pet food pantry, and we provide, we distribute free pet food to folks that need it, that are struggling financially, and folks that are elderly that may not be able to get out, you know, people that are just
People in need.
and people in need.
So
Yep.
you basically you provide the service to people who otherwise would have to maybe give up their pets.
That's our whole. We're trying to stop them from animal abandonment, from reaching, even getting a foot near the animal shelter. So that's what our programs are developed for, is to, you know, keep the pets in the home where they belong with their caretakers.
So you have a variety of programs, and you know, I was pretty taken aback when I saw some of this stuff, because you know, I really hadn't looked at your website, and that is posted on Posse Presents Facebook page, and we'll give out that information before we close.
Okay.
But you actually provide and refer people to medical assistance. You've got adoption days that you do. You've got just all kinds of wonderful stuff. You've got a Pets for Vets program, as well as the Pet Food Pantry. So let's talk a little bit about each part of that. You know, again, a lot of people find themselves in hot water, so to speak, because their animal is in need. So you know, you actually do provide assistance and refer. You have like a whole page of places where people can research and try to make sure that their pets get the care that they need.
We because our program provides assistance to Connecticut residents at this point. And what I found out is a lot of people will come to us that are not in Connecticut. So the resource page is not only to help Connecticut residents, it's also to not out-of-state residents as well. Even Connecticut residents can go and look at these other places that can help them too.
I mean, I can't tell you, if I had like that proverbial whatever for every time someone's come to me and said, you know, my friend has a problem, I can't, you know, I have a dog with a problem, or whatever the case may be, and you know, I'm like, I got nothing. You know, I just, you know, you Google stuff and you try to research it, and you really don't end up with much, because there's not a lot out there. But to have those resources all lined up and to be able to reach out to you makes it even more fabulous, because, like, you know, you're like a real tangible person, and it's not just you know, like, hey, try this or try that, or look up this or look up that, where it's like so ambiguous. I mean, you know, clearly.
It's nice because our program, we have some great volunteers that are help running the program for the medical assistance. And we talk to the people, we give them other options and ideas, and you know, ways to other resources, and just other people that, you know, in the community that can really help.
And that's fabulous. You know, it takes, I always say, like, that whole "it takes a village" thing. You know, it takes a village to save a dog. It takes a village to keep a dog in a home.
It's so true. It's so true. One thing about our organization that I love is we work really well with other rescue groups. We believe that we should all work together and not. You know,
there's so much.
You know, it's working out really well for us with our pet rescue adoption days. So far we've had 22 pets adopted since February via this program, and you know, we have all different rescue groups come every first Saturday of the month at the High Ridge Shopping Center, and we all, you know, put up tables and bring our adoptables,
and that's open to any rescue group. Anybody can come and bring their adoptables, or even just pictures or information.
Absolutely, set up a table.
A lot of times, you know, the municipalities have that liability thing. And you know, it's how many times I've had to try to explain. The dogs aren't vaccinated. The dogs, you know, just, there's no known history. You don't know how they're going to do in a crowd. It's a liability. The cities don't want to get sued if a dog acts up or bites or whatever. So really, if you've got the staff who wants to put in the time to come and sit with pictures, or, you know, just like information.
And talk to people,
talk to people.
There may not, when people come, it's wonderful because some of them are looking for a particular type of dog to adopt, or cat, and it's not all the time. We don't have the exact.
You don't have an inventory. That's what people don't understand.
They don't understand. So it's really good with our groups that come, because they'll sit and they can look through their books, and you know,
everybody's got a little something different.
And you may even say, well, you know, if you're looking for a poodle, then go to the Poodle Rescue Group. It's just a great opportunity for all of us to get together and network.
And it's exposure.
Absolutely,
and there's so much to be said for exposure, because really, without it, you've got nothing.
That's right.
You know, and how many times, like at your adoption events, or like even on Facebook, somebody's got an available animal, and then like 3 days later, someone's like, you know, I'm looking for, and you're like, I had it, I have it, I saw it, where was it?
Right.
And it's just, it's all about that whole making that connection, and when you can make it happen, it's just
great.
The best feeling in the world.
It's really great.
It really is.
Yeah.
So definitely, if there's any, you know, rescue groups that want to get involved, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity. I can vouch if you're not familiar with Stamford. I think I told you earlier, I spent 30 years there. My age is kind of closing now. You're going to start piecing it together.
I think what the big one is now.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. You know, the place where they're having this is a very well exposed
it is.
plaza with, you know, just a lot of traffic, and it's very easily accessible.
And now we've been doing this for almost 2 years now. So people kind of are expecting it.
Right.
We do take a break from December in January and February. So just due to the weather.
Yeah.
But you know, those are the only 3 months. But any rescue groups that are interested in coming, if they can go to our website, contact us, and then we can, you know, let them know how to do it.
Yeah.
It's really easy. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not complicated.
And you do that on the first Saturday of the month,
yes,
correct?
First Saturday of every month from 11 to 3 p.m.
Yeah, and that's, you know, it's not a bad ride if you're coming from this way to go down there. I mean, you know, it's
right up the Merritt.
Yeah, I mean, what's an hour of your time, and you know,
to get an animal adopted?
Yeah,
it's worth an hour.
Exactly. Or you know, to invest in another animal's future.
That's right.
Again, because you network, and you know, you never know what you get, like those resources and stuff. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So that's the first Saturday of every month.
Every month. Yep.
And that's definitely worth looking into.
Yeah.
Now, you also offer a program that helps place pets with veterans.
That's correct.
And that's current, past, active.
Active, non-active. They're family members as well. If your husband, if your son is a military member, anybody that's been in the military or is in the military or a family member.
Now let me just ask you this: do you help? Like, I've seen a lot of posts, and there was one very recently on one of the pages that I admin, someone getting deployed. Do you offer any assistance, like to place that pet?
What we do is one of our programs will have emergency foster care. Well, if somebody has to go into the hospital, or you know, they need a temporary boarding for their animal, we'll provide assistance for that as well.
Okay.
Long term, at this point, our program does not do that long term. We just don't have the manpower at this point.
Yeah, foster homes are like at a premium.
Exactly.
You know, they really are, and if you can get them, they fill up.
Right, exactly.
And you certainly want one that will be short term.
Right.
Because the turnover is key, you know.
Exactly.
And then you end up with the proverbial foster failure.
Exactly.
And that closes the door unless they really have
and there goes your foster person.
Yeah.
So.
And it's funny because on Facebook just the other day I had someone didn't know what a foster failure was.
Okay.
I won't mention any names. You know who you are.
I'm sure they do now, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not a bad thing. In case you don't know what a foster failure is, I mean, obviously your foster home is one that's just taking in an animal temporarily, but sometimes you fall in love. Yep, and that's all she wrote, and you end up keeping that animal, and
especially if you'd have them for months, you know, if you were 3 or 4 months, it's like, how can I give them up, they say. I'm like, well, you kind of do it because there's always another one.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes you just know you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, the last foster I had was tough. He was a little chewini, and I had him on the show, and he was fresh. Oh, I will tell you, he was the biggest love in my house. He'd sit on my lap, and he'd love me, and he'd kiss me, and he'd snuggle, and I'd be on the computer trying to do my thing with him on my lap. I brought him here. It was our first outing. You know, he was pulled from the pound. It's our first outing. The first person went to touch him. Yeah. I was like, oh no. How am I ever going to place this dog?
Right.
But, you know, I mean, everybody who went to touch this dog, he was just like, it's great. Yeah. Great. I'm stuck. But it didn't happen like that. He actually, you know, a wonderful woman took him in, and by all accounts, as far as I know, and I do check up, I mean, everything's wonderful. It was someone who somebody I knew.
Okay.
And so, like, it was like, you know,
were comfortable with
vouched for, and, you know, no-brainer, and it was a beautiful thing. But Yeah, you sometimes you don't know what you're getting into.
No, I know. And you know, with pets, it takes a while for them to get comfortable in your home, a week or two, and then their real personality starts to come out.
Oh yeah.
So, but with our Pets for Vets program, we provide assistance to anybody interested in adopting from the Stamford Animal Shelter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And I got to stop in there last week, about a week ago.
Okay.
I had spoken to Lori on the phone, and I always talk about what a wonderful example she sets.
Right.
Because really, most of the municipal pounds, you know, all you need is a heartbeat and ID, and you know, be able to handle the adoption. Yep. And you walk out with a dog. She's one of those exceptions to the rules. She takes the application. She checks the references.
Right.
She then, before you pick up the dog, that dog goes to the vet, is spayed or neutered, is brought up to date on the shots. The voucher that you get is put to use. And you're picking the dog up from the vet. Hi-ho, happy trails. That dog is not set up to fail.
Microchipped and everything.
Yep, that dog
great.
is not set up to fail. And I only wish, I mean, like I walked in there and I was like, I had spoken to her on the phone once last year, and that's like another whole story I'll tell you off camera. And she remembered me, which it's not a bad thing.
Right.
But, you know, I had to. I was like in the neighborhood and, you know, thought I'd stop by type of thing.
Sure.
And, you know, you have to like make the contact and all that.
It's good.
I mean, she really, I think she sets a wonderful example.
Yeah. She has a good program. She's great at what she does.
Yeah.
And her passion for the animals is amazing.
Yeah.
And we're lucky in Stamford to have her.
Yes.
And I think that the municipalities are moving more towards now where you can spay and neuter before they're released. That, you know, it's a model that
now there's that law that the municipalities can use the vouchers.
Yes.
And if we can get that implemented, I know New Haven does it too.
Okay.
Where they're taken care of before they go home. I mean, if only places like Waterbury and even Hartford. I mean, Hartford does the application process now, which if only, you know, if only all of them would just take that extra step, it would the dog would not be set up to fail.
I know, and the old way is so antiquated. It's like, this is it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it just, you know, you have to get the person in that works, like Lori, that has the passion.
Yes, you have to get someone with that progressive attitude, open mind. Willing
to take the extra step.
Willing to change the protocol and change that like old boys club of you know it's Yeah, I hate to
go.
say this, but like it's easier to kill them than to clean up after them because you know that's pretty much the way they work. And it's a fight, but we're fighting it.
It's the old dog catcher.
Exactly.
Like how they used to be.
Yeah. with the doggy paddy wagon in the net, right? Exactly.
Okay.
Anyway, one of the things that we talked about that you are, I mean, I think is fabulous, is your pet food pantry.
Yes.
Now, you have got to be working very hard at that.
We do. It was funny, I was there this morning too. We had we have food that we have to deliver, but we provide assistance, and not only do we have a pet food pantry where people can actually physically come and pick some up, but we also have some fabulous volunteers that will deliver to folks in need. So that works, you know, and some people are uncomfortable to, I say a lot of people are really uncomfortable to ask for assistance. It's a hard thing.
It's a very hard thing.
And we're very sensitive towards that. So, you know, when you talk to them on the phone, you can kind of get a feel for them, and we'll say, okay, listen, you know, you don't have a vehicle, we understand, and we have volunteers, we'll come in.
Yeah, people are in various states of hardship, and it's just so heartbreaking.
It is.
Because,
it's very heartbreaking.
You know, you can't imagine being like shut in.
No.
You know, and needing help and not being able, not being able to provide. I mean. In these times, it's hard enough sometimes to provide a meal for your family.
Absolutely.
And there's assistance for that, but then you get into that whole gray area of, you know, well, I don't want to lose my dog, but I can't feed my dog, and what do I do? And there's really, there are a few resources, but they're very few.
They're very few, and we really want to get our pet food program out there. If anybody is interested in volunteering, anybody has any ideas of how we can get our pet food pantry out there, We're at the Bridgeport Animal Shelter once a month, every third Saturday of the month, distributing free pet food. So if you know folks in that area, and please, every third Saturday of the month. But again, we're looking for anybody that's volunteers and any ideas on places that we can distribute food. If you know of anybody in need, please contact us and let us know.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, there's no reason why you can't branch out and hit other communities. And surely you post that on your Facebook page.
We do,
and it's really, it's such an opportunity. You know, I would love to see something like that. And it's funny because someone messaged me today, what would I think about trying to do like something like that here in town.
Okay.
And you know, I have such big ideas.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to have the means and the wherewithal to get them done. But I would love to see. I mean, I've had people ask me, you know, around here, is there any place I can go? Is there anything I can do? And again, up until pretty recently, I mean, you know, it's like, geez, I got nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And so, again, like the time and the distance and the travel, but maybe you and I can talk again off camera.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I would love to see something like that, like reach its way up this way, because really there's so many places and there's so much need. And,
and there's no reason that I mean, we have it and it's available, so there's no reason there should be a pet going hungry.
Right.
It's just, it's there, we have it, and you know, so it's, you know, it's important to get it out there and let everybody know.
It sure is, and it's statewide, you know, I mean,
exactly.
All right, granted, I can't, if you're having that bad of a time of it, I don't think, like, I can see someone, like, getting in the car and using the gas to go all the way down there.
Right.
That's why you want to try to expand it. So, you know, really, if there's any of you watching that have an affiliation with a pound or a shelter and want to host, you know, like another Saturday in a month or any other day in a month where, you know, you can come and set up and try to reach out to the community.
Saturday, Sunday.
By all means, let's make that connection.
That'd be great.
So let's do this now. How do people get in touch with you? They
can get in touch with me at heather@stamfordanimalrescue.org.
Okay, and
so, if they
one more time.
It's heather@stamfordanimalrescue.org.
And you have your Facebook page?
Facebook page. We have our website. Our website gives all the information on where we're going to be with our pet food, any upcoming events that we're going to have.
And what is your website?
It's www.stamfordanimalrescue.org. StamfordAnimalRescue.org.
Okay.
Easy for easy.
Yeah, it's like, really, it's very easy.
Yeah. So.
And I think that you're just like on track to do such wonderful things, and I'm just so glad that you were able to come tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You know, really, there's just so much that needs to be done, and while we're getting ready to wrap it up, I'm just going to mention very quickly. You know, last week I wasn't here. I've been sick. I'm still under the weather, but last time I did talk about a dog named Chipper in Waterbury, and Monday's it. It was going to be yesterday, and they pushed it back and pushed it back. Poor Chipper needs to be an only dog.
Okay.
He was in a home, was not taken to the vet, not neutered, not vaccinated. Got in a scuffle with the landlord's dog. The landlord got bit. The landlord threw him out. He's back at the pound. They don't know what else to do with him. Either a rescue needs to step up, or someone, I hate to say it, but I'm going to, with a brain, needs to take this dog, or literally Monday morning is all he's got.
Wow, that's very sad.
Yeah, please, Waterbury Pound, let's do it. Let's save Chipper, because he's just a sweet, sweet, sweet dog, and clearly has gotten just a bad break.
Right.
You know, sometimes you get these adoptions gone wrong.
It's sure, I see it a lot.
Yeah, you do. And besides that, the Waterbury Pound, which, I mean, I give them a ton of credit because they've really done a big turnaround as far as, you know, they used to kill more dogs than save, and now they save more dogs than kill. And, you know, I'm proud of everybody who's hearkened to the call and listened and pitched in. But we got to keep those adoptions rolling. New Haven is full. New Britain's got a few dogs in trouble. As a matter of fact, there's a dog there named Sweetie who, from what I understand off of Facebook, has some kind of eye infection going on that's not being treated. So everybody get on the phone, and again, presentation is everything. Don't call up screaming and yelling. Very nicely call the police chief, call the mayor, call somebody. This dog needs medical attention. Shouldn't be sitting in the pound since the beginning of the month with an eye infection. Imagine how you'd feel. The Newington pound is one of those underexposed places where there's plenty of wonderful dogs. That dog Lux that I talked about for my birthday, I made a birthday wish. I gave a list of dogs, and at least 2 of them were saved. That I can, well, no, I have to say there was a few more than that. There was a whole list, but there's still a few out there. Lux is one of them. Bonnie and Clyde is 2 of them. They're in Branford. They had a really sad story, but no, that's another story. But Lux is in Newington, and the ACO there has reached out to me on a number of occasions, and she's really trying. So share those dogs, go on Pet Finder, do your thing. Hartford always has urgents, from what I've read. Stanford's pretty full.
We're full.
Yep.
Stanford is full.
And so,
go out and adopt.
Yeah, come on everybody, you guys can do it. Get online, share these dogs, make it worthwhile. Save some lives. If you're in the position to do it, do it. Don't play. It's a life.
Absolutely.
And even though, people ruin them, it's not their fault, like with Chipper,
Right.
He didn't ask for whatever happened to him, and I guess they did retest him with a female dog, and he did a lot better.
Did better, okay.
Sometimes it's that testosterone thing.
Okay.
You can't,
right,
you got to get them neutered as soon as you get them home. You got to get them to the vet. You got the voucher.
Yeah.
It's like a no-brainer. It's setting them up to fail. So we're going to go peace, love, and dogs, because we've got credits. And when it's credits, it's time to say goodnight. So Heather, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Awkward confrontational accusation.